Alrighty, my name is John Doe. I am an active duty U.S. Navy SEAL, and I have been doing this for a little over 6 years. So, as a Navy SEAL, I am the Navy's premier direct action element. My job consists of direct action, which is a specific mission set that either targets an individual or a structure or some sort of specific mission that we train up for, and whether that be maritime, whether that be on land, or if we need to get there through the air. That's the whole acronym of SEAL, is sea, air, and land. I have a few different specialties that I have been trained in, and a lot of other SEALs that I work with. They also have other specialties, and together we make up a whole fully functional team. And we're utilized year-round, 24/7, 365 days a year. When I'm not deployed, depending on where my platoon is at in our cycle, I will either be doing physical training on my own, that's in a gym or a pool, or running just on my own to keep myself physically ready and capable for my job. If we're doing a team training event, whether that be close quarters combat, military free fall, military dive operations, or anything under our wheelhouse of tasks and duties, we'll go to a training location and conduct exercises that prepare us for any type of mission set that we could run into on deployment. Like I said, we're Navy SEALs, sea, air, and land. Basically, that gives us autonomy to go anywhere and do anything and get into any location, any which way we need to or we see fit, whether that's jumping out of an airplane, diving underwater, or walking and running there on land, or driving. So it really depends on where we are in the mission that we're tasked with. I can talk to you about some things that you guys have already seen and been released into the news. Like, for example, I was not on this, nor was I anywhere near the team who did this. But for example, when Navy SEALs killed Osama bin Laden in 2011, they went in on a helicopter and they, assaulted on the X landing, and they, were able to get that high value target. That was a direct action type of mission. There was another one that was in the news recently where Navy SEALs went after a vessel of interest, which is a boat that we want to look at and see what they got going on there. And it turned out that they found a bunch of weapons on there that these guys were smuggling into a country. And they seized those weapons and took those off the battlefield so that bad guys can't use them to do what bad guys do. So on deployment, it can be any number of things. And, sometimes you get downtime waiting for a mission and you're just planning and practicing. And that goes along with a lot of working out and, just keeping yourself ready to go do anything at any time. Everybody goes through the same process. They go through Navy boot camp. They go through basic underwater demolition SEAL training. They go through SEAL qualification training. And if you make it through all that, which every Navy SEAL has done and will do, hopefully until the end of time, that's remained unchanged. But for me, I heard about Navy SEALs when they killed Osama bin Laden, and I was quite a bit younger, and I thought that was really cool. I always knew I wanted to join the military, and finally, when I got older and I really did some research into what it took to get that job, through my research, I found that Navy SEAL training is arguably the hardest training in the U.S. military. So that caught my attention. And I basically just walked into a Navy recruiter and I asked, hey, I want to be a Navy SEAL. How do I do that? They're like, well, you got to take a written test and score high enough in that. And you got to take a physical test and score really high in that. And if you do both of those things, you can qualify for a contract to go to SEAL training. And they gave me a business card of a former SEAL who was training dudes at the time to join the Navy. And I went to him and I worked out with him for well over a year and got myself physically ready for it and passed the tests and went right in. What they could do to prepare is just take a physical standardizing test either on their own or with a Navy recruiter, see where your numbers are at. I believe the auto qualifying scores are a 9-minute and 30-second swim, and that's a combat side stroke, followed by a minimum of 75 push-ups, a 2-minute rest, 75 sit-ups, another 2 to 5 minute rest, and then a minimum of 18 pull-ups, 10-minute rest, and then you got to go run a 1.5 miles in 9 minutes and 30 seconds. So if your times aren't and numbers aren't anywhere near that, I would say start working out a lot and get yourself to those numbers where you can comfortably hit those numbers. So that way, when you do go into training and you're tired, sleep deprived, hungry, you can still hit those numbers and be physically capable at any time. But the best thing you could do if you're a high schooler is I would say go talk to your local Navy recruiter, um, tell them what you want to do, and have them help you along the path. One piece of advice I would give to youth, I would say to youth today, I would say
to not be a victim. There's a lot of things in your life that happen to you that you have no control over, but what you do have control over is how you react. Now, being a victim is, oh, woe is me, this happened to me, this is the reason why I can't do something, because this happened to me that's out of my control. Negative. That's just an excuse. And if you live your life with that excuse, you're not going to amount to anything. Another thing that's really important to remember is the world does not owe you anything. Nothing. If you don't work hard for what you want, you will not have. That's just a fact of life. And nowadays, people have a really, really, really hard grip on this victim mentality, thinking that they're discriminated against. The system is set up against them. I'm being discriminated against based on the color of my skin or my gender or my religion. It doesn't matter who you are, who you love, or what you worship, or what color your skin is. If you don't work hard, things will not come to you. And that's a harsh reality, but the sooner that you realize that, the sooner you're going to be able to put your boots on and go to work and set yourself up for success.
yes, my name is John Doe. I'm an active duty U.S. Navy SEAL, and I have been active duty for a little over 6 years.